Let's play!
Anaya, Beanie, don't stray too far from the camp.
We're gonna play heroes and go through the trials.
All right, dear. Stick together and be back by moonrise.
Ooh, what's up chaps, I'm Magical Mike, and this little sequence we're about to watch was one of the fun little Easter eggs I found when playing Path of Fire for the first time. We're in the Skyward Reach area of the Elon Riverlands, quite accurately portrayed since the first game, and here we find these two kids, Anaya and Binyam, about to play a familiar sounding game of Ascension.
Anaya, I wanna play Ascension. Ooh, can we? Can we?
Great idea. All right, first we must pass the 3 trials before entering Augury Rock.
So first off, here we head over to what they're pretending is the Dunes of Despair mission, where back in Guild Wars 1 we had to defend the ghostly hero from an onslaught of enemies and siege worms. Something interesting to note is that the henchmen they roleplay as were never actually seen in the Crystal Desert areas.
Well, if it isn't Anaya and Binyam, what brings you here?
We're playing Ascension. I'm Devona the Warrior. Binyam is Aiden the Ranger. He wanted to be Lo Sha, but we couldn't find a mask.
But it is safe to assume that they also ascended along with the player character and the other henchmen. Well hold on a minute. Huh? What? I mean, you can't just hijack this video. I think you'll find I can and I will, so what about Lo Sha then? He was never in the Crystal Desert, in fact he didn't even travel to Tyria at all until the events of Isla North a full 6 years later, after the Ascension happened for the players and presumably Menlo and his friends as well. Well, now you mention it, it does seem fairly unlikely that he'd be there. He probably became Wayno Su instead, which is the Canthan equivalent of being ascended, but maybe the kid just liked him, alright? Anyway, back to the story here. Anaya chooses to be Devona, who's supposed to have used a sword in the lore before, and in the CGI trailer for prophecies, but never actually does in-game.
You're a ghostly hero at the Temple of Ascension. We'll protect you from the Forgotten.
That's right. The Forgotten fought heroes who tried to ascend to test the humans' characters. So be careful.
Here they come! Sever Artery! Gash! Galrat Slash! Ha! That got him!
This combo is pretty terrible actually. Well, for this mission anyway, Sever Artery and Gash was always a common combo for sword warriors, but Sever Artery only worked on fleshy targets and most of the enemies in the mission were enchanted armours. Gash only worked on bleeding foes, so that's 2 really poor skill choices there, me kiddo. And Galrath Slash instead of Final Thrust? What were you thinking? I guess this is some kind of weird talking to myself video now, huh? Yeah, the more iconic finishing move to this classic combo would be Final Thrust, which is why we see Sever Artery, Gash and Final Thrust on our Guild Wars 2 warrior sword skills. At least the combo worked on the forgotten enemies though.
Here comes a siege worm, and I'm on it! Lightning reflexes! Ignite arrows! Barrage!
You what? Mate, this kid is the reason that most pug rangers in Guild Wars 1 were never let into groups. Let me just show you what he did. You see this? Do you see it? This is brain dead gameplay right here. You waste 2 seconds of your increased attack speed stance, waste all of your energy and time putting on ignite arrows, and then immediately remove it instantly with barrage, which doesn't even benefit from increased attack speed thanks to cast times. What are you doing, man? Alright, sounds like we've had some personal experience there. At least Aiden did use these 3 skills in different builds throughout the game, so there's that tiny positive, right?
You two made quick work of them. The gaze of the gods will shine on you. Ah, to be young again.
Now we can reach Alona from Alona Reach. Get it?
Haha, very funny.
Alright, so moving on to Alona Reach, one of my least favourite missions in Prophecies thanks to how bundle items work, and only being able to carry one of them back at a time.
Hey, Emika, we're playing Trials of Ascension. Is this Alona Reach?
Why, yes it is. There's a vision crystal here with your name on it. Just bring it back.
The vision crystal you had to retrieve in this mission came in 3 parts, but it seems the kids here only have to go for 1, or maybe the merchant here is just trying to get rid of them quickly, I don't know.
I'm gonna be Menlo this time. You carry the vision crystal and I'll protect you.
Then I'm Sin. You better protect me, or else I'll meteor storm you instead of the Forgotten.
Hey, did you catch that? Meteor storm? No, what? There's no meteor storm skill, it's meteor shower, jeez. There's a firestorm skill, maybe Amaya got mixed up between them, but that's a pretty embarrassing mistake for an elementalist to make, don't you think? Yeah, but she's a kid though.
There's the crystal! Ah! I'm crippled by a splinter mine! Help me, Menlo!
she gets points back on that splinter mine bit. That was fun. Those things were an absolute menace, and henchmen would just blindly run into them and get crippled all the time.
Draw conditions. Purge Signet. Get to the dais, I'll hold them off.
Binyam is rapidly turning into my least favourite Guild Wars 1 roleplayer. Draw conditions? Purge Signet? This is the worst combination of skills just to remove some bleed and cripple I've ever seen. Put it this way, not only is it terrible to prioritise that over anything else, but Purge Signet was clearly never a good choice for a monk to use. A 2-second cast time would spell absolute doom if anyone else was under attack, and to add insult to injury, it would cost 20 energy for the privilege of removing 2 conditions. That's madness. That is pretty terrible, yeah, and I have seen monks try that before now, only to wipe the entire party because they had no energy left. There's no excuses for this behaviour here. None. Zero excuse. Menlo didn't even use those skills either. Thankfully.
Great job, kids. I mean, heroes. Here's 1 vision crystal as promised.
Thirsty River is the hardest Ascension trial. Josso Escher is there, and he's a big, scary Forgotten.
I'm not scared. You're scared.
On to Thirsty River. Josso Escher was rightfully so a real nightmare boss sometimes, unless you could stop him from spamming Word of Healing. Glad to see a forgotten name remembered there.
Whoa! Slow down! What's got you two so excited?
We're not scared of you, Josso Escher. We'll beat the trial of Thirsty River.
Ah, playing Ascension again. Well then, Forgotten, make sure they fail their trial.
I'm Eve, and for every Forgotten who falls, one of my minions will rise. Aura of the Lich!
So Anaya decides to play a minion master for this one, which isn't the best choice considering a necromancer like Eve could have punished healing very well. Yeah, and loads of enemies in Thirsty River don't even leave corpses, so how would she expect to maintain that minion army? Back in my day, the Sand Giants and the Devourers at the start of the mission were the only corpses available, and those minions would be dead after the first set of Forgotten. Aura of the Lich gets you 1 minion, but you've never even used that skill, or any minion skills, despite being described in the faction's manuscripts as being a powerful master of the undead. On review, and in getting footage for this video, I'm actually wrong. For some reason the Forgotten Avengers and Champions do leave corpses, so being a minion master is completely viable in Thirsty River. Who knew?
I'm Menlo, and I'll keep them alive. Heal area, heal party, healing seed.
Menlo here does his best to help out, but I fear that even heal area and healing seed wouldn't be enough to keep up with the decaying minions. Heal party would do absolutely nothing to help either, and man do I remember having a ton of trouble with monks who knew absolutely nothing about energy management and spammed heal party all the time. Mindless, right? Yeah, the amount of monk players that just used to spam heal party and pretend they had any idea what they were doing and thought they were super valuable to the team was just incredible. Now you're bringing up old traumas for me too,
Oh, by Glint herself, I can't possibly overcome these heroes!
Yay, we defeated him! Now we can enter Augury Rock.
So right then, on to Augury Rock.
Say hello to your folks for me.
Will do, thanks.
Let's see what these kids can do here. The doppelganger used to be a real challenge for a lot of people, myself included. Figuring out a way of getting it to hurt itself was tough, and it spawned a lot of clever tactics.
I would provide customer testimonials.
Look who's returned. How was your adventure?
We're not done yet. We passed the trials, but we still have to enter Augury Rock.
Then we can fight the evil doppelganger. Dun dun dun.
Well, don't let us slow you down. Step on these 3 runes and Augury Rock will open.
Oh, I do like how they use those mats as the runes. Oh, look at you, me. Optimism. Well, they're sort of cheating here if they're allowed to work together though, aren't they? This is a solo mission after all.
Okay, Nayala, you're the doppelganger, and we're here to defeat you!
Prepare yourselves. Any skills you can do, I can do too.
So what, does this doppelganger get to use all 16 of their skills so he can copy Aiden and Eve at the same time? How does that work? Or maybe I'm reading too far into this, but shh. Who knows?
I'm gonna use Eve's necromancer skills.
I am Aiden the Ranger, and I'll lure you into my traps. Barb trap, flame trap, spike trap. Ha!
Picking traps isn't a bad idea, as long as you can remember where the enemy ones are. You can lure it into your own and use that advantage, which is easy said than done. Only problem is that they're easily interrupted, which makes getting them down in the first place a tough task without Trapper's focus. Aiden never used these skills, but at this point we should probably just assume that they could have done. And again, strangely, it's quite easy to manipulate the doppelganger to waste a trap and run into yours, then just auto-attack it to death. So I was wrong here too. I'm learning about Guild Wars 1. Weird.
Necro skills, Anaya? Duplicated. Blood is power. Signet of Agony. Dark Pact.
Blood is power is... well, it just wouldn't work. They're fighting one enemy and... Ah, yeah, you see this? That won't work, me laddo. Signet of Agony seems like an alright bet, but that's 10% health down at the cost of up to 70 for Eve, and Dark Pact would work better as well. I guess the Signet's true payoff comes in its bleeding damage, but there's still damage coming in to Eve from both of those skills here, and it's going to be a close one in the DPS race.
Oh no!
Ha! Fell for it! You sacrificed too much health, and now you're stuck in his spike trap. You're dead!
Sigh, the doppelganger is defeated. Good work, kids. You are now ascended.
That was fun. Next time, I'll be Little Tom, the Axe Warrior.
Deal, but only if I get to be Menlo the monk. I don't care if he's a boy. I'll be a boy too.
Lucky for our little heroes, they're totally allowed to cheat and team up, so the traps do come through to save the day. Well, this video took a rather unexpected turn, but the nostalgia trip was quite cool. And just to point out, the idea that the kids don't have perfectly accurate information could just be seen as a fun little detail about how the stories got passed down over the last 250 years. So I've been Magical Mike, and I've been Magical Mike. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.